Alright, so before we get started on the video, there's actually a couple things I want to get done real quick. For one, you want to go into Alvanisa's castle and down to the lower, I guess this is more the upper floor. You want to talk to this lady right here. She's going to be giving you two spells known as Tractor Beam and Thunderblade. We've already seen Tractor Beam in action via a bunch of enemy bosses we've fought in the past. I think there was one regular enemy. It was like a sylph-ish enemy. But anyways, they are a bit on the pricey side, so if you are lacking the cash, you do want to go out and grind that gal real quick. Also, the other thing with this place, you want to talk to all the NPCs here because they will give you information in regards to, well, the next three parts actually, because we actually have to hunt down some summon spirits, and the NPCs down here give you directions to all three of them. We're going to be tackling all three of them within the next couple parts, including this one. As for the other two things, class has two techs we can get, known as Burning Soul and Lion Lunge. With Burning, you can get Burning Soul here. I already did it off screen. I'm actually going to show it in the skill set, actually, or the skill list. In order for Burn Soul to be available to you, you need to have Blade Storm mastered and Phoenix mastered. Now, we don't have the Phoenix skill just yet, but we will be getting it by the end of this part at the very least. So I'll be able to show it off in due time. Now, this is where you can find Lion Lunge. I don't exactly remember what you need to master in order to get this tech. I think it's Tiger Teeth and something else. Also, it's 12,000 gal, so it's a bit on the pricey side. You're really going to have to grind a lot. I do it off screen as well. But anyways, on with the video. Salutations my fellow dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to Tales of Phantasia. Last time, we were successful in thwarting Dios' minions' evil plan to overthrow the kingdom and, well, take control of the prince, actually. That's sort of what happened. So yeah, we did that. Now we have access to the Moria Gallery. Sort of. Basically, if you go through, I think it's like you can go through most of Moria Gallery, but you will come to a point where you can advance any further, because it requires that you have 4 summon spirits. We only have 1 right now. We're actually going to be getting the second one today, the water spirit, Undine. So that's going to be pretty cool. What you want to do in order to get to where she's at, though, you want to take a boat from Venezia. The same boat that takes you to Demetel's Island. If you talk to the NPCs in Alvanisa's castle, you will be able to... you won't be able to access the island until you get told by the NPC. And I'm sure a lot of you watching this right now aren't exactly a fan of that whole system of you have to talk to a certain NPC in order to have access to something. I know it's a struggle for all of us, but bear with me, because I had to deal with it as well. But anyways, before we get to that, we actually can continue the Elwyn and Nancy quest that I neglected earlier. So, son, I will arrange a better marriage for you. You can't marry this whore. There we go. Father, this isn't your decision to make. How dare you raise your voice at me after all I've done? I'm not your slave, Father. Nancy! Good riddance to that gutter trash. How dare you say that about the woman I love? Shut up, you foolish boy. Oh, okay, this has gotten a little... Elwyn! You stupid kid. Well, my voice got demonic there. My bad. What the hell is my laptop trying? Whatever. That wasn't important. Anyways, as I was saying, with that quest, things got a little bit crazy. We got a little conflict going on. Apparently, he doesn't. Elwyn's father, Doug, that's his name, isn't a fan of Nancy. So I wonder what that's about. Anyway, you want to talk to Elwyn to try and cheer him up. You don't have to talk to Nancy, but for the added dialogue, I do it. So Elwyn suggests they just both just take off, and they do just that. Or at least, at the very least, Clark suggests that, and Elwyn decides to go with that plan because it seems like the best course of action. So they go on and do just that. Now, a little funny story. Well, actually, real quick. You would talk to this captain, you want to ask for North Island. What the hell? Oh, that was weird. My laptop sort of just paused for a second, but anyways, I cut out the grind, a little bit of a grind, because I didn't have enough gal to pay for the fare, which was 800. So yeah. Funny story about this part. This is the third time I'm recording this because the audio died on me once. Well, the first time, like, it didn't recognize my microphone. Then the second time, like, I don't know what happened. I'm glad I deleted it. I'd rather not, like, show exactly what happened because it's going to be very irritating to all of you watching wherever it is you're watching, or inside your house, your friend's house, your bathroom, maybe. This is getting weird. Anyway, we're moving on. We've got Undine's later. I'm actually what I'm doing here is I'm saving. You can, if you go to the left there, you can actually go to the overworld and save. I don't know if you can encounter anything on the island itself though. Alright, welcome to Glaciated Cavern. I've been getting that wrong for the last few attempts to record this. Thankfully, you guys aren't going to see that. I've been calling it Undine's Water Cave. But anyway, starting off, we got a new enemy here, Calamaris. The Calamaris don't exactly, they're not very threatening. The only attack they can really do is spear you with their tentacles. The biggest problem you're going to have with them is that they have a lot of health. They're very beefy. That right there, though, is the Thunderblade. That is going to be your most viable magic spell for Arch for a very long time. This thing not only does a lot of damage, it covers a lot of ground. Much more so than the Eruption spell, which was already good enough on its own. But damn, that spell rocks. And it's also also the weakness of the boss in this dungeon as well. As for the dungeon itself, it's actually very easy to get lost in, but there are some benefits to, you know, I guess getting lost and fighting all the enemies, because you can get a lot of seafood, specifically from the Calamaris, and I think it's like 100 for your food value, which is pretty decent, all things considered. You are going to stack up a lot of them, so assuming you're lucky compared to me, because my test playthrough, I got pretty darn lucky. This run, not so much. But anyways, we got another new enemy here, the Red Slug. The Red Slug are just like the leeches and the regular slugs from older times. The only problem is that the Red Slugs can shoot much more rapidly, so they can rank up the damage a bit more faster. I think they can also poison, but I'm not exactly sure. It hasn't happened to me, in fact. I don't think I might have gotten poisoned once in its Let's Play. Probably around, like, the first dungeon or so. But it's not like that's gonna happen very often. You're not gonna really suffer from status ailments until, I want to say, a little bit after Moria Gallery, actually, because when we get to Moria Gallery, since we're doing 3 dungeons before it, a lot of the enemies in Moria Gallery don't put up much of a fight. If you were to go there and just excavate as much as you can out of there before being forced to leave, the enemies can give you a hard time. But if you do all these dungeons first, nothing will give you a run for your money in that dungeon. But anyway, with the dungeon itself, think of it as the water temple from Ocarina of Time, actually, where you're raising and lowering the water level. Or more specifically, you're either draining the water in a room or flooding that room with water. So yeah, and there's also levers to open doors. Anyways, we got another new enemy, nymphs. They're like sylphs and, forgot what the other form of them were called. But, these guys, they don't pose much of a threat. They can hit you with tier 1 magic, which is pretty darn weak at this point in the game. I think they could do some tier 2 magic, but they never get it off on me. They never hit me with it. Alright, so we've gotten to a little bit of a bind. That door's locked, so what we need to do is actually find a lever. Now this is where the whole water shifting thing is, because in order to get to the switch that opens that door, we need to adjust the water level. So basically we'll flood the water in that room we were just in, while simultaneously draining the water in another room. That's pretty much how this dungeon works. Again, it is easy to get lost in here. As a matter of fact, you're gonna actually see in the next few moments. This is the beginning room, by the way. At least I think it is. But you're gonna see something really. I'm about to do something really stupid. It's gonna be rather funny. I got some more seafood too. I think I grabbed. Yeah, there are some pretty good items in here. See, I walked out of the dungeon somehow. Not sure how I did that. And I'm just like walking back in all dumbfounded and whatnot. I'm just like damn it, I can't believe I pulled that stunt. Anyway, what you want to do is go down here, and there's going to be a switch. At least I think, yeah, there's a switch right there, along with a room bottle, which is going to be awesome. We can use that on some items. I cut out to the point where it got to the lever, because unfortunately, I did get lost for a good few minutes getting here. As long as you're using this as a guide, this video, let's play, whatever you want to call it, as a guide, you shouldn't get lost, because all I did was cut, I think it was like 2 or 3 minutes. It wasn't that bad, it's just that, for some reason, I found myself running in circles for who knows what reason. And I actually do that a little bit in this area too. It's kind of annoying. What's one of these lizards, sprites? You don't fight any lizard-like enemies in this dungeon, so why are they here? They're just sprites. I sort of just walk all over the place for no good reason. Excuse me, I apologize. I just had some dinner, and I guess I don't know. It's pretty hot in here, actually. Where I'm recording right now, my bedroom, obviously. I always turn the AC off when I'm recording my voice, or recording in general, anyways, because the last thing I need is you guys having to hear the fan from the AC. It could be really distracting, and I don't want to do that to you guys. I'm willing to suffer for all of you, let's just say that. You're welcome! That's assuming my voice actually gets acknowledged this time around, because damn it. I want to record the next part, damn it. I really do. Also, I didn't do this at the beginning of the dungeon, not sure why. Turn off Arch's ice abilities, because her ice magic is either going to heal the enemies in this dungeon, or not do any damage. It'll do nothing, so you're going to be wasting TP. On the flip side, though, Arch's AI is programmed to deal out as much damage as she possibly can with the most effective spells, like, at the point in time she's using them. Like, whenever she casts a spell, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a spell she can actually use very well in the current situation. So in this case, she won't ever so in the case of this dungeon, or the boss fight even, she won't ever really use the ice spells, unless if she's low on TP and, like, the AI sort of, like, craps out on you for whatever reason. It does happen every once in a while, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. Oh, never mind. I guess I did get more seafood than I thought. Not sure what I was thinking of then. You can also get the seafood out of chests too, so that's pretty good. I do suggest being prepared for the boss fight because it is quite a bit of a challenge. So as a matter of fact, we're actually getting to it. We couldn't access this boss fight previously because that hole wasn't there. We had to go trigger that lever you just saw me pull in order to make that hole appear. Then Undine appears and the battle starts. Who are you? Die, intruders. And now we got a boss fight. Let me just start by saying Fighting of the Spirit, the track that's playing right now, is one of the most kick-ass fight tracks in this entire game. It actually carries on to Tales of Phantasia, which, like, damn it, I love that. I love the rendition of that. The OC remix for it is pretty good stuff too. It's like really, really rocking. Anyway, with the boss fight itself, the Katamaris are gonna get in your way whether you want them to or not. So just take them out as fast as you can, specifically with the Blade Storms, because the other thing with the Calamaris is that they're kind of slow. Undine herself, however, she's very, very threatening. She can perform tier 2 ice magic. I think it was Ice Pillar she did earlier, or Ice Wall is one of those. And she could also deal some moderate damage with a short-range slash attack. She is very defensive too. She guards a lot. She also has the ability to heal herself gradually. The biggest problem you're gonna have with this fight, though, is that little slash wave she fires. Not only is it able to deal a lot of damage, it can hit it can potentially hit all of your party members if all of your party members are in a line. So this boss fight could easily give you a run for your money. This is probably my third attempt at this fight, and damn it, oi. Thankfully, this is the only boss fight that gives me a hard time for quite some time, because, spoiler warning, the next two boss fights are actually fairly easy. It's like an apology, per se, for the last four boss fights that gave us a hard time. Oh, actually, no, Demetel was before me. Anyways, what you want to do is use Lightning Bolt and Thunderblade on her. Those are her weaknesses. They are going to do a decent amount of damage, but again, you really gotta be prepared for when she does that stupid that stupid slash wave. It is so obnoxious. I think she's almost done for the count. I love how Mint's like trying to slap her with the rod. It's a shame because I think Mint could get some sort of attacking ability, but that's not until way later in the game. Anyway, that was it. We did it. We also got Phoenix, so I can show that off. And a question mark book. Don't use your rune bottle on that book. It's a porno magazine. It's very useless. I know it's a joke, Namco, but we don't need porno magazines. They don't do anything for my party. In fact, if you equip it to Clarth, I think it's the weakest weapon you could potentially have. Even weaker than his base weapon he gets at the beginning. But anyways, that was it. We've acquired the Summoned Spirit Undine, which is awesome because for a little while, Clarth has been rather meh. Like, Sylph isn't bad, it's just that it's the only Summoned Spirit you have for about an hour or two in the game. So it really sucks because for quite a little bit of time, Clarth will be your least useful party member because the Summoned Spirits won't do much for him. That is until we get to a certain Summoned Spirit later. You'll see what I mean when we get to that, because that Summoned Spirit is awesome. But anyway, I'm just healing up after that boss fight because, man, was that painful. She dealt quite a bit of damage to me. You want to come in this fight prepared. So, yeah. Anyway, I think we're going to call it a session here. So, we managed to acquire the Water Spirit Undine. So, next time on Tales of Phantasia, we're going to be taking out this third Summoned Spirit. So, until then, I got a juice.